if I take you back to that bulletin and the newsreader deciding to effectively ad-lib a change to the script and roll her eyes, and now she's been upbraided for that. Your reaction, if I can, Fiona. Good morning.
Good morning. The most telling thing is that 50,000 people followed her on social media, and that's what the BBC should pay attention to for the right reasons. Everybody knows that there are men and women. Sometimes that matters. This nonsense of pretending that anyone can be pregnant, adopting this sort of language of gender ideology, has gone on for too long at the BBC. And that's the message they should be getting out of what happened here. The idea that they've censored her is rather worrying. It suggests they're just going to double down. But, you know, the world knows. We all see. We all know what reality is. And if we can't trust them on that, how can we trust them on anything?
There's a heck of a row going on within the BBC News department, it would appear, Fiona. It's not your job to have read the Daily Telegraph, but it is mine. And it doesn't matter whether it's the coverage of Donald Trump, whether it's the coverage on the Arabic channel. Let's go to one that would possibly interest you more, which, and I quote directly from the testimony here, the LGBTQ desk at the BBC. Mr. Prescott, effectively the whistleblower, Director of Standards, I was told that time and time again, the LGBTQ desk staffers would decline to cover any story raising difficult questions about the trans debate. Why is that, those attitudes? Why are they so deep-seated, do you imagine, Fiona?
Well, and I can say we have come across that ourselves, Nick. It seems like their coverage is all about bigging up how wonderful it is to be transgender. They seem to want to recruit young people to identify out of their sex, which wouldn't matter if it didn't come with serious medical consequences. So I think it's a pretty irresponsible thing they do. But for some reason, and I don't know what it is, the BBC has become a sort of cheerleader for transgenderism, and they don't want to write anything that makes it look like perhaps sometimes a bad choice. For example, there have been many detransitioners, people who have regretted going down that path. They find it impossible to get any coverage of their story.
Lastly, he cites and I quote, the typical example, the story of, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Giselle Shaw, these are his words, a gushing tale of a transgender wrestler who felt liberated by coming out. This story, posted on March 15, 2023, glossed over how the wrestler, who is a biological male, had repeatedly won trophies by competing in women's competition. That speaks to the points you were just making, doesn't it, Fiona?
Yeah, and it's so one-sided because, you know, this character may well be happy about the life choices he's made, but those choices have an impact on all the women who have to face him in wrestling. And this is happening right across the board. And the BBC seldom reports the experiences, the voices of women who have to face these men in sport. I mean, wrestling is particularly harmful, of course. So, of course, Giselle is happy with what he's done, but his impact is profoundly negative across the board. And I think that the Martine Croxall reaction tells you that everybody else knows it.
Grateful for your input. Thank you. Fiona McAnena is Director of Campaigns at Sex Matters and was Director of Sport for Fair Play for Women.